Imagine you are floating in space with absolutely no suit, no oxygen, and nothing separating your body from the vacuum of the universe. It sounds like instant death, something dramatic and explosive like in movies. But the reality is very different and far more disturbing. The moment your body is exposed to space, the first and most critical problem is not temperature. It is the complete absence of air. The oxygen inside your lungs immediately begins to escape due to the extreme pressure difference between your body and the vacuum outside. If you try to hold your breath, the expanding air can rupture your lungs, causing severe internal damage. So the only possible reaction is to exhale immediately. Within seconds, oxygen levels in your bloodstream begin to drop rapidly, and your brain, which depends entirely on a constant oxygen supply, starts to fail. Around 8 to 10 seconds after exposure, your vision begins to fade. It does not happen instantly, but gradually, like a tunnel closing in. As colors disappear, clarity fades, and everything slowly turns black. At this stage, panic would normally set in, but your brain is already losing the ability to process information properly. At the same time, your body begins to react to the vacuum in a way most people never expect. Because there is no external air pressure, gases dissolved in your body fluids start to expand, causing your tissues to swell. Your skin is strong enough to prevent your body from bursting, so you do not explode, but you do expand, becoming visibly bloated and distorted. Meanwhile, moisture on your body behaves in a strange and unsettling way. The saliva on your tongue, the moisture in your eyes, and the thin layers of liquid on your skin begin to boil. Not because of heat, but because the pressure is so low that liquids vaporize at normal body temperature. This process, known as ebullition, creates a bubbling sensation that would feel unnatural and deeply uncomfortable. By now, roughly 12 to 15 seconds have passed, and your brain no longer has enough oxygen to maintain consciousness. You black out completely. Even though you are unconscious, you are not dead yet. Your heart continues to beat and your blood continues to circulate, but your body is running out of time very quickly. Contrary to popular belief, you do not instantly freeze in space. While space is extremely cold, there is no air to carry heat away rapidly, which means heat loss occurs slowly through radiation. Your body temperature begins to drop, but not immediately and not fast enough to be the primary cause of death. The real danger remains oxygen deprivation. After about 30 seconds, serious damage begins as brain cells start to die due to lack of oxygen. Your organs begin to fail, and your body enters a critical state where survival becomes increasingly unlikely. After around 1 minute, the damage becomes severe and often irreversible. Without intervention, death becomes inevitable. However, there is a small window of survival that many people do not know about. If a person exposed to vacuum is rescued and repressurized within approximately 60 to 90 seconds, there is a real possibility of survival. There have been actual incidents where individuals were briefly exposed to near vacuum conditions and lived. In one such case, a technician experienced accidental exposure during a test and later described that the last thing he felt before losing consciousness was the saliva on his tongue beginning to boil, followed by immediate blackout. He survived only because he was brought back into a pressurized environment quickly enough. This proves that space exposure is not instantly fatal, but extremely time-sensitive. The difference between life and death is measured in seconds. Now it is important to correct the biggest myths. You do not explode in space because your skin and tissues are strong enough to hold your body together. You do not freeze instantly because heat transfer in a vacuum is slow. You do not die the moment you are exposed, but you do lose consciousness within seconds and face death within minutes if no rescue occurs. The actual process is quieter and more unsettling than anything shown in films. You suffocate as oxygen leaves your body, your tissues swell due to pressure loss, moisture begins to boil at normal temperatures, and your brain shuts down from lack of oxygen. Space is silent. There is no warning, no sound, and no dramatic explosion, just a rapid and unavoidable shutdown of the human body. It is one of the most hostile environments imaginable, where even a few seconds without protection can determine survival. Without a spacesuit, the human body has no defense against the vacuum, no ability to adapt, and no margin for error. What makes space truly terrifying is not how fast it kills, but how briefly it allows you to realize what is happening before everything fades away. This is the true reality of going into space without a suit, not exaggerated, not cinematic, but scientifically real and far more disturbing.